Hello everyone, this is Planckera, and welcome to my universe. So today, I wanted to work on Kronii herself. I feel like I've got enough information for how the rest of this is gonna go. Still a lot to do, naturally, but information sufficient. So, I feel like the next big piece of information that I want is knowing how I'm going to shade her exactly. And the reason for a lot of that is I was looking over at the sun, which was going to be the next thing I did today. But I was like, you know, most of the time when I do this style, I use white lines for things. And here I'm using dark lines. So this may not be appropriate. So I should figure out what Kronii's gonna look like, because she is the star of the show here, naturally. So everything else is gonna be following her lead. So I figure, you know, now that I kind of know how things are going to be laid out, and I think I figured out a degree of that, even though there's a lot of places I still want to put more detail, like the big clock here, and a lot of things that are bleeding into places that they shouldn't, like the arms of the sun here. You know, it's fine. We can figure out what's going on there, and then I can revisit these things. So, the way I handle my stained glass style is basically the shading doesn't necessarily have to make sense, but it should make some. And I try to break up certain areas a lot, and well, basically there's a lot of things I gotta figure out here, so I figure I should get on that. And first, I think I would like to kind of visit her face and the main body here, and see what I can do there. I have the most ideas for the main body for the moment, so I'll go ahead and start there. I just gotta find it. Freaking layers, man. It makes some things much easier, but okay. And one thing that I'm also realizing is that I think I'm actually going to make these the light color. It doesn't make sense. But this is stained glass. It doesn't have to make sense. But I'll go ahead and start here, because I have a general idea of how I want to do things here. And of course, I will have my symmetry tool back on, because I do want this to be almost completely symmetrical. I say almost. I don't think I want it to be 100% symmetrical. There's going to be a few spots that are asymmetrical, you know. I've already done it in the legs, for example. And by the way, I hate the way this foot looks, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. But yeah, so that part's asymmetrical. And of course her headdress is asymmetrical, and there might be some other things, I don't know yet. It just kind of tends to be the way things work out. Okay. Okay, I think I'm going to listen to what I said, and I will indeed make her back veil thingy white, as opposed to the color I have it now. And of course, that's going to make it impossible to see, but that's okay. And I need this color first. Oh, I had that color. Okay, we're good. But this is where this kind of thing comes in, and I can get some amount of shading in there. I better lock that layer before I start working with it. But the reason I'm doing it like this is because I think it contrasts better with her hair. And for this particular style, shape design and that kind of thing, way more important than what actually, like, makes sense. So, this is just a matter of, well, gotta make things as interesting as I can. And then go from there. I actually don't really mind all of her body being shadowed here at this point, so I think that's okay. I don't think I want to draw that little brooch on the ribbon yet. That looks like that'll be a little bit terrifying, so I'm going to hold off a little longer. But I do think that this ribbon is a little bit small. So I'm going to make it a lot bigger here, but narrower. And then I think I'm going to bring in the tails a little bit. Okay, let's get this back on there. And then I'm going to center it. And now I can bring in the tails a little bit. Just looking over at the model a little bit here. No, I don't think I want to do this with Liquify. Normally I would. But with the high degree of symmetry that I'm going for here, I gotta be real careful with doing stuff with Liquify. Liquify. Not inherently symmetrical. And using transforms to do things will not necessarily preserve the symmetry, and I think I made it a little bit too big. But yeah, it will not necessarily preserve the symmetry, so I gotta be real careful. Okay, now I just want the tops of the ribbon to be a little flatter here. Alright, there we go. I think that's looking a little better. That was maybe a lot of things for that, but it's fine. I probably could have done that a little simpler. But it's totally fine. Alright, and this is where I guess I start picking hair shadow colors. For as long as I tend to spend on hair in regular things, just any old anime drawing, I have to do a bit more with hair in this style. And I call it more, but it's also different. There's a lot of things that are going to be different. It'll be easier to explain once I get into it, but I just kind of want to get some basic lighting in before I start getting too deep into things. But if you're curious, you can go look at some past drawings I've done in this style. The header on my YouTube channel is one. And then there was also this one little illustration of Yu Yuko from Toho that I did. And you can kind of see what I mean by, I do have to do a bunch of stuff for hair. Okay, and this is probably good for now. Oh wait, no, that one's symmetrical. I forgot that strand of hair was indeed symmetrical. Alright. Very important to remember which parts are symmetrical and which parts are not. So I think I'm gonna put hair highlights on early, but... And thinking about it, I might actually want to be doing my shading on a different layer, but, Ooh, do I want to? Because that's gonna be a million layers, and that's rough. No, I think this is fine. Okay. So we'll get some basic stuff going here. And I will make this part next to the little gray part in her hair there, the part that's underneath here, a little bit darker than I normally would. Normally, if I was lighting it normally, I'd probably make it just the neutral base color. But here, I'm going to make it dark because I think it contrasts against here much better. Similarly, I'm going to make the side there a little bit darker too. Alright. Let's see, do I want to do much for the back hair there? I'm not going to worry about the back hair just yet. Alright, now I need another color for the gray part. And frankly, I'm probably going to be using like way more colors than this. when the time comes, but I just don't quite feel like now's a good time. I don't like it. I feel like I've been using multiply lately. A lot of the time I would just never use multiply over overlay to pick my colors, but lately it's just been getting me the right colors, so... Huh. It's like the same color. Fascinating. Okay. Yeah, I'll just use the same color then. Okay. I don't think I want to pick a bunch of other colors just yet. I'm going to need more. Because this isn't going to work as it is. I think it's looking pretty good so far. It's just not quite right. The joy of weird stylistic shenanigans. Okay. Man, I really gotta make those ears look less like peanuts. Okay. I think I'm gonna do the back hair real quick. I don't want to make the ears look less like peanuts right now. Okay, and then... How do I want to do this exactly? I'm going to be having a lighter color and a darker color, I think. And then the part kind of facing forward, like right here, where it starts wrapping around her head. I'm just thinking about how I want to design this. There's many a choice to be making today. As always, I like to take them very seriously. I need another color. That's fine. I use way more colors in stained glass style than I do for a lot of my other things. A lot of my other things, I really like to keep my color choice very, very minimal. And not use a lot. It's not working for me. But for stained glass, I just need a lot of very subtle little variations. And I think I might get into that a little bit more once I kind of have some of the lines and stuff blocked out. So I think I'm just going to do something like this. Nice and easy. With... I don't know, do I want a bit of hair sticking out there? No, I think I like it kind of coming inward a bit. In fact, I think I might want it to do just that just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Okay. So I think that's fine. Now I kind of want to get some lighter and darker colors in there. This area I think especially needs both. So... let's get some little bit of subtle color in there. Let's see what I can do. Maybe a little bit brighter. Maybe not that bright. I still don't think quite that bright, but it's pretty close, so I'm just gonna take an airbrush and brush over it just a little until I get what I'm looking for. So maybe somewhere around there. You can see it's not that much lighter, but it should allow for some kind of interesting shapes going on in there. Okay. Yeah, that should look interesting once I start putting lines on. Now let's make it dark. The dark areas. Yep, that's about what I expected. I was pretty sure I was going to have to get pretty close to black. So that'll be what goes near her face, since her face is so light. And I think I lost a lot of the mid-tone there, so I want to bring that back, and I'm afraid of picking the wrong color. Ooh, actually, I don't have a good reference point there, so I'll zoom in instead. Okay, let's get rid of this one. And then maybe I can divide up this one a little bit. I'll worry about the details as I get a little bit closer to liking everything else. One thing at a time, right? I think I'm mostly just going to focus on the face for now. I think I'm going to get the face close to a finished state and then base everything else on that. And only change it if I get a really, really good idea elsewhere. I don't know. I might change my mind in 5 minutes. That tends to be how my art process goes. It's fine. But I do want to get the highlights on. Because I do think those are important. Actually, I want to go take a look at a past drawing. Just to kind of remember what I was thinking. I tried to remember when I drew it. It hasn't been that long, has it? I guess so. Man, sometimes I forget how many things I'm drawing now. It feels good. There it is. Okay. Yeah, so I still handled highlights relatively normally. Okie dokie. I really liked how the hair came out in my Yuyuko drawing, so that's why I wanted to reference it real quick. Actually, I think that might be too light. That's definitely not light enough, but I think 2 overlays is a little bit too light. I think this isn't bad. Let's try this color. So here we're going to be a little bit asymmetrical because of hair here. So I'm just going to put in the basic shapes here. How do I want to do this? It's like this is stained glass, so the lighting is nonsense. It's whatever I think looks coolest. I keep a rough idea of where I think the light source is. But in this case, I almost want to make it look like she's emitting the light. But that's not quite gonna happen because the background isn't taking light. So... there's a lot of complicated things. Most of them, at this stage, they don't necessarily make sense. We'll see what I could actually pull off. But that's kind of the idea to an extent. Yeah, I do think I want them tilting downward a little bit. If anything, I think I want to do it a little bit more than that. So I'll bring this highlight a little further down relative to the bangs. I think that'll make it look like her head is tilted back a little bit more. And then maybe just a little bit up here. Well, maybe not, actually. I think in a lot of normal circumstances, I'd consider having highlights up there. But I'm not sure if I like it here. Okay. Yeah, I think this is good. So I think I'll leave the brightest highlights like that. So now I'm going to start just kind of detailing certain other parts of the hair. So I know that for this part, like this part here, super easy. I know exactly what I want to do. What does that part look like again? Okay. I know exactly what I want to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little color here. So remember that color I said was a bit too dark for the bright highlights there? I think that's exactly what I want to use for this part. Just a little bit different. And then I want some areas that are ever so slightly darker. Like right in there. And oh, man, that's way too much. Even that's a bit much. I think that works, though. So just kind of like that. And then here. I am debating with myself. How many? Just 2. Okay. So what I think I will do instead, I'm going to get rid of this line. And all of them, actually. And I'm actually going to move this to here and here. And I will just color in these other areas. And then I want to make these lines a little thicker. It'll look good once I get some of the other details on there. So I think that's what I want to do for that part. That part's nice and easy. So now I just kind of want to construct the rest of the hair here. Okay, I want a slightly darker color here. Well, maybe even more than slightly, actually. Yeah, I think that'll be good. Oh, you're not actually... I see. Okay, well, I'm not sure what's up with that, but, let's, try to fill that in. There we go. This part's at least symmetrical, so I'm just gonna carry on there, and then there's gonna be a dark area here. And I think I want another dark area over here. Still being very loose with everything. I will clean it all up later, and when I start cleaning it up, you know, I'm probably gonna undo a lot of what I did. It's fine, that's normal. So normal, it doesn't really even feel bad to me anymore. Alright. So this, I don't think it really makes that much sense. I really don't. Do I think it looks cool? Heck yeah, I do. Let's do it. Sounds good to me. Like, her hair doesn't actually, like, turn there or anything, but I think it looks nice. And I think it'll lead to some kind of interesting stuff happening. when I put the lines on. So I'm gonna do it like that. And here I have a fairly light, it's up against a light color. So I'm gonna just make this entire side part dark. And then there is a dark part up there, so I might want to actually do something like this. And just put in a little triangle here. Just so it's not quite so dark there. So lots of little contrasting things. And then let's see, which areas do I think will be the lightest, and which areas do I want to contrast with the skin? Like here, I feel like this highlight is running up on places it shouldn't, so I'm actually going to change it. Because it was hitting the skin there, and the skin is very light. And if I put another light thing right next to it, it would blend in a little bit more, and I don't think I want that. That's kind of what I mean by I'm not paying that much attention to how lighting would actually work here. Like, I have to pay some. It'll make it look better if I pay a little bit of attention. But for the most part, it is just, where do I want things to contrast? And I do think that that will make it look better. So I already know that I'm kind of interested in having some darker spots up against her face. So I'll frame her face a little bit with this. But I think down here I'm actually interested in having a little bit of a lighter spot. So I think I'll do that. And here, in a lot of cases, I'd keep this darker spot, but I might keep another darker color next to it and kind of blend it a little that way. No blending here. I want to keep everything nice and highly contrasted. I don't want to clean up the lines or anything too much yet. It is not yet time, so... Oh no, I'm drawing on the wrong layer. Oh, that's actually bad. Okay, I think I can save it. It's gonna be on both sides, so... Okay, so now I just cut the selection and bring it back down into hair antennae. Are we good? Yeah, should be good. Okay, it looks like I missed a spot over here. That's okay. That's okay. I'll just get rid of it and then fix it over here. Okay. Crisis averted. Always scary when that happens. Okay, so we got no highlights there, and if I get rid of the hair here, only highlights, it looks like. Perfect. All right. So, saved. Okay, so now I think I'm going to grab my slightly lighter color than this. Not like a highlight color, just a slightly lighter one. Kind of like what I did here. And from there, I can put in some places where I think I want a little bit of lighter areas. That color might actually be a little bright. Let me tone it down just a touch. That one seems pretty good, though. So you can see, not a lot of contrast. I just wanted a little bit of a light spot right there. I think I talked about that with the highlights and how I was considering that, but I didn't think it looked good as a highlight. So I'm just using what is basically a mid-tone here. Might actually be a little bright. Let's tone it down just a little. That's exactly what I mean. I don't want it to look that bright. I just want it to separate the hair here. Let me see. How exactly does this work? I think I have this dark part in the wrong spot. And it's thrown me off. Because it's supposed to be caused by this. There we go. That's better. It means this highlight is probably going to need to be moved a little bit. Well, that's fine. It can move. It doesn't have to be there. Nothing says it does. Okay, and I think I'm satisfied with this. Just for grins, I'll check the level of contrast there. See if it's better. In a lot of ways, yes, actually, but... let's see. Can I make it work? I thought I locked you. Okay, I think I can get behind that. Alright. So now what other areas do I want to be just a little bit lighter? Not a lot, honestly. I might just put a little bit in a few places, like maybe around here. This I want to follow the flow of the hair a little bit better, and... so I think it's probably just going to be something like that. Let's take a look at the front hair here. So this headband is a little bit light, so I'm going to put a dark area there. Oh wait, that part is actually asymmetrical. And then to contrast it from the hair here, I want a light spot. And then to contrast it from her skin, I'd like to have a dark spot. Okay, yeah, something like that. Alright, not symmetrical through here. And then just a few other little dark spots here for interest and stuff. That one I don't think should have a dark spot, but this one probably should. And I can get as dark as I want near her face. That should look pretty good. Just have all the contrast. Alright, I'm gonna get started on the face. I think that this is a reasonable place to leave the hair for now. So I'm gonna get started on her face. And for that, I want to start with coloring the eyebrows. And the eyelashes, just so that they're not quite so stark. What did I do for your eyelashes anyway? Okay, yeah. I think a lot of those details I'll get into once I actually render all of this. Alright, I am feeling a little ambitious. So I'm gonna start the line. I'm going to keep them messy. I just want to make sure I like the way they look. We are not being neat. This is not going to be line hell time yet. But soon. Soon. And I want to get them pretty dang close to white. So basically the way this is going to work is I plop in where the lines will be. Huh. Oh, I put you on the head. The hair doesn't have its own group yet. How odd. Normally when I have more than one hair layer, I just plop them into a group pretty quickly, but did not here. Okay. And then I just plop lines around like everything. Some of these are probably going to need be a little bit lighter. That's fine. I can do that. And, oh, no, that part is symmetrical, so I should put my mirror tool back on and save me some grief. All right. And so this is what things will look like eventually. You know, just better. The better part is important. But it really does look really wonderful once I get it all smoothed out and have all the details where I want them to be. It really is something to see. I like the style a lot. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And that's why I keep wanting to draw with it. I really love stained glass. I think it's very pretty. And stuff with this kind of vibe just makes me happy. So I'm just doing a check here to make sure that I like everything and that I think I'm on the right track. So that's why I'm not really taking the time to make it neat or anything. Yeah, I actually don't like it quite that separated. But this much is good. I always consider this proof for anyone that wonders if I do line art or not. It's like, no, I definitely don't. Definitely not. Okay, so let's get these ones now. And don't worry, there will be a little bit more contrast in her skin when the time comes. And I think that's gonna be about it here. So how are we doing? I think I might need to change the color a little, but yes. Very much yes. It might be a little bit too detailed. I might need to put a little bit more separation and variation in the line thickness there. But I am seeing it. Okay. I am gonna put a little bit more stuff on the face. Oh, I do not have the layer locked here. Oh, and I still have my brush set to overlay too. That will also not be helping me. Alright, I will change the color of the facial features completely for now. Oh, is that just a random hole that I did not fill in properly? Yep, sure is. Okay, let's get this nose going. So this I might actually change into a lighter color. I don't want it to be perfectly triangular, but it's probably going to be pretty close to perfectly triangular just because everything about her design is so triangular. Like, she's got so many triangles in her design. It's kind of incredible, really. Trying to make sure she's not too big-chinned, but I do want her to be, like, looking upward slightly, so I feel like a little bit of big chin is kind of inevitable. Okay, and then on her body, I want a darker color for underneath the neck. I'm gonna do that now, just so her chin doesn't blend in with her body. This color seems good. And skin will not get as many, like, different highlight and shadow variations. I want it to look pretty smooth, so it doesn't need as many as something like hair or clothes do. Yeah, when I actually make that look good, that should be pretty awesome. Okay. I just tried to remember how I did it before, and I don't quite remember. Man, she has like a tiny chin there, and I am making it so much bigger. It's like it's going to be a little bit bigger because of the angle, but like I feel like there are limits. I'll just reattach it there, and that should be fine. Okay, that looks a little bit better. Okay, let's go make those ears not look like peanuts now. What do ears look like again? I swear, it's been like an eternity since I've drawn a proper ear. So I'm just like, God, what do they look like? Okay. Okay. I don't think I really need to emphasize the earlobe as hard as I am. So let's get rid of that first. Okay, I will take the shadow color I built there. And I guess you just kind of do a thing like this. And it's like, suddenly it's an ear. And it's like magic. I don't know, is that ear like, is that fine? Do I need to do anything else? I haven't drawn her earrings or anything yet. I guess then I'll do that later. That might also help with ear likeness. I don't know. Put a little bit of light on this part because I can. Oh, I don't have the layer locked. I should do that. There we go. Just looking at some quick references here and there in between drawing a thing. Just to kind of make sure I'm doing it right. Because art is hard. And I am too used to covering up ears with hair. So I haven't drawn an ear in a while, and I also do not like drawing ears. So I look for any excuse I can to just cover them up with hair. Okay, but I think that's fine. I don't think I have to do anything further. Okay. Now then, let's get to what I was planning on doing before. I would like to get a lighter color on the skin here. For the bottom of her nose. I think that one's pretty good. Okay, so I want to make this a little bit more triangular. Because she is truly a bundle of triangles. So let's get that triangle in there. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is just plop a little shadow on top. It's like a lot of the time you do the opposite, but I think it makes sense for this one specifically, just because, well, angles. How do I want to do it? I don't know. Like this? Yeah, sure. That works. I think it needs to be smaller because, again, angles. I don't know. Is that nose like? Do I want to flatten out the top? I don't know, man. When it comes to anime noses, I typically either draw a dot or something more detailed, so I'm still kind of figuring out how I like this kind of in-between look to look. I'm gonna pick a mouth color too. Be a little darker, I think. Don't mind that I'm changing the nose color too. It's not important. It's all good. I'll fix it. There we go. See? Easy fix. And I mostly just want kind of a stern, but perhaps vaguely annoyed expression. That seems about right for her, I think. Maybe trying very hard to avoid cracking a smile. Okay, so yeah, something like that's fine, I think. Alright. I think that's gonna be about it for the face until I do more things. Because, like, I don't want to render her eyes yet. That's just not how I roll. That always comes after I do a bunch of other stuff, so... Do I want to do more of her body before I get into just fully rendering things? Alright, sure. I'll be good. Okay, so... I don't have all the details on the shirt here yet. Like, there's this blue trim. Is there anything else, really? Just the blue trim there? Yeah, I guess there's lines on the shirt and stuff that I haven't drawn. I'm not sure what this gold thing running down is. Because it, like, goes between her boobs, too. That looks incredibly uncomfortable. Okay. I think it might be time to draw the brooch. I think I already have a golden color for that picked. I think that's what I used for the second hand here. So let's go ahead and draw that. Is it symmetrical? And do I have a good close-up, or do I just kind of have to suffer? Is that a heart? I never noticed that. Incredible. Okay. So, yeah, I think this is probably the best image I got. Yeah, just some concentric circles with the heart in the middle. Okay. Alright, and it looks like on a slightly higher quality image, that thing that I thought ran all the way down, in fact, does not. It comes out there, and it's just a zipper. Because of course it is. This is anime. There's extra zippers everywhere. Yeah, and I see the zipper bit at the top. I don't really see it here, but on this other image that I'm looking at, I do. So I will roll with that. Alright, let's just go ahead and draw this thing then. I'm just going back, checking for sizing. Make sure I get it the right relative size here. I'm going for the big outer circle first. The inner circle I'm gonna do in just a little bit. I think it's a little big. Little small. That seems pretty good. And then I'll adjust the ribbons accordingly. Everything is still pretty rough for the time being. So about how thick are you? I'd say that's probably a good 12 pixels. Yeah, it looks about right to me. So now I'll go ahead and center that. All right. And I will merge this down. But for now, I need it on a separate layer so that this way I can center it properly. I think right about there is going to be good. Yes, I think that's pretty okay. So I'll go ahead and merge those now. Because I don't know, this one doesn't look centered. I did hit my button. Okay. Krita plugin says that is perfectly centered. I'll take its word for it. So, alright. And then there's just going to be some shadows and stuff. I don't really want to draw those right now. So I'll go ahead and get the gem on it. Sounds good to me. Alright. So yeah, it's just a heart. It's a little bit blocky, so I will embrace the somewhat crystalline look. Trying very hard to make sure I get a good color there. Alright. So it does look a little bit blocky to me. I am just double checking where I feel like the blocks are. I'm not overly concerned. This is not going to be the clean version, but I do want to start making things look the way that it should. Yes? Close enough for now? Does her head feel small? No, but her shoulders feel a little small, so I might make them just a little bit wider here. Where's my arms layers? Okay, so I'll go kinda draw the shoulders in where I think they should be. I do not have the mirror on. I thought I did. Try to be careful to make sure that I get arm and not... Or that I get shoulder and not arm. Her arm was looking a little chunky there, so let's fix that. Definitely don't need things looking chunky. Alright, and then on the body there, since the arm overlaps the body, I do want some darker colors there. Okay. Looking good. Let's go attach her arms again. But it's fine. I kind of like having this on a separate layer for me to use. I think it will make things a little bit easier on me later. This will definitely go up and under her armpits and stuff. Okay. Now, I already have a dark color picked down there, so I can start plopping those in places I think it should be. Do I not have the arms properly centered here? Nope, looks like they're good. Okay. I just noticed that there was a hole on this side, but I didn't see the same hole on the other side. So I was momentarily concerned. Okay, I think I want a little bit more of a connection right there. Okay. So that seems pretty good, and then I can add a little bit of extra shadow on her body there. Just right here. Okay. So here I probably will add a bit of extra shadows and highlights places. I mean, the shirt is white, or I guess the vest is white, so I can't really put highlights on that. But I do want to add in some folds. So let me figure out where those should live. Probably just like a little bit right here. Normally I'd want a little bit like underneath here, but this is an anime shirt, so it just magically melds to the shape of her body. So I don't need to do that. Something like that might be sufficient, but it won't make for very interesting looking stained glass is the thing. So that's what I'm concerned about. So I kind of want to add just a few more areas of light and shadow just to make some interesting stuff happen. So I don't know, maybe I just add something along this. Possibly a few asymmetrical shadows going there. Okay, yeah, I can get behind that. And I kind of like the white against the blue more than this slightly darker gray purple that I got going on there. So I don't actually want that. I don't actually really want shadows on the side there, I don't think. I think it keeps her very well separated from things. Whereas, like on this skirt, I think I will make the edges much lighter. Right now I'm just looking for my body layers. This way I can clear that, where I made her a little bit skinnier. Seriously. The proportions here, man. Like, how? I still don't know how artists can pull off that level of proportional nonsense and still have the picture look okay. It's like black magic to me. I hate it. Okay. It's alright. I'm trying things right now. May or may not work, but I gotta try some things. I don't know, do I want to fold here? No, it looks bad. Nope. Anime shirt. It looks better like this. I guess this is probably fine, I guess. Feels a little weird, but I guess it's fine. There's no buttons or anything on that, is there? No, but it does look like there are a couple of clothing trim lines around there. Just looks like the shadow color to me, so I'm gonna go take the dark shadow color for that. I might end up making these a little bit thicker for my own purposes, but this is fine for now. Okay. I can't make this symmetrical. I gotta draw it one at a time here. Okay. And I do think I will put another dark spot just right down the middle here. And that really might be about all I can do. I don't think it looks bad. I think with some of the added little bit of trim color and stuff, I think it should work. Let's go put it on. Let's see. How does this work? Are you not part of the shirt layer? You're not. I see. I separated the collar and the shirt. Okay. You know, makes sense, actually. And the collar has a similar trim line going around it over back here. Okay, and I think I can probably be a little bit more interesting with shadows back there. Actually, I don't think I want to. Yeah, I wanted to separate from the veil in the background a little. But I will probably add some shadows from the ribbon when the time comes, so... Alright, let's go work on the ribbon a little bit. Just seeing how far apart the tails of the ribbon are from everything. And how long they are. At least relative to the bow part. I do think I still have the bow part a little bit tall. Like, I think the width of it is much better now. But I think I still got some kind of cleaning up to do here. Okay. Yeah, seems good to me. Let's go ahead and put in some shadows. Oh, that's a pretty color. I like that blue. It's a very nice little blue. Okay, and then I think I want a slightly darker one too, and I can already tell just by looking at this that if I use overlay to pick my color, it's going to be way too hot. So I'm just going to use the multiply. And I want this area to be darker. And then I think a little bit around here to be a little darker as well. Okay, and I think that's good there. I will add some slightly lighter spots now. This ribbon, when I look at it, does not look especially shiny. So I don't think it's made out of a very shiny material. Let me just back up a little here because shenanigans happened. But, I thought I was clicking when I wasn't, and suddenly I just saw a bunch of spam in my history here. So I was like, oh, well, I shouldn't do that. I think that's a pretty good color. So I can just put a little bit of shininess kind of over here, and then maybe down on this part of the ribbon or something. I probably don't want it to go all the way to the edges, but something like that. Maybe a little on top. Okay. Looks good to me. I don't really feel like doing the sleeves and arms right now, so I'm just gonna skip that part, and I will do them later. Are her legs long enough? I mean, if this was a normal person, I'd say yes, but this is Kronii, so I don't know. Uh-huh. I'm actually going to say no. So I'm just going to take her entire upper body here. And I am going to lift it up. I just need to make sure I find all of the layers that are relevant. Because some of this is... yeah, no, just all over the place. I think I got it all. Okay. Up she goes. Gotta make those legs just a little bit longer here. And then I just need to get the socks layer and extend it upward. Yeah, that is why I felt the need to adjust it a little. And I'm like... or I was like, yeah, if this was a normal person, you know they'd be fine, but it's not, so I'm not sure. I'm still not convinced that they are quite right here. Let me lift up her knees. Oh, it's unhappy. Okay. Because I think that'll also help elongate them a little bit. Just gotta push things around a little. And I think I still want the bottom part to be wider. Oh, wait, I have my symmetry turned on. I should not. And at least here, I don't have to worry about keeping things symmetrical. It is in no way symmetrical, so it's all good. I think they're still way too small. Life is hard. I might have to make the canvas a little bigger, which will mean I have to, like, do a bunch of fixing in the borders and stuff. Unfortunate. But I guess I could also make her a little smaller, but I'm not sure if I want to. I kind of like her sizing everywhere else except here. Okay, I better give myself a little bit more space. Where are you? There we go. Give myself another 500 pixels and see if that does it. Okay. So this is gonna be interesting. Because, I mean, I can't just use transform tools to get that border across, because it will stretch it. And so it'll make this part, like, thicker than it should be. So what I'm gonna have to do, once I find it, there we go, is I, like, need to just grab a piece of it. I think the easiest place to grab is gonna be up near the clock here, since that part is all gonna be changed. And then I just pull it all down. Okay, and then I can fill that in a sec. Alright, and here, this is also going to be interesting, because once again, I still don't quite feel like I can just do this, because it'll affect the thickness of the lines in certain areas. Actually, this seems okay. Okay, it's working out then. Alright. Oh, that could have been worse. So now I just have a little bit bleeding over here. Okay, and time to move some of the other stuff down. I'm not going to redraw everything until I am satisfied with how long her legs are, basically. But I do want to start moving some stuff down. Where the heck did I put them? Just push everything down. And now I can move her feet down, and from there I can reattach her legs. Where are they? I think it'd be easier to find them, considering considering that they have a couple of layers going on with them. Oh, I see. It's because I kept them in multiple groups. Okay, fair enough. Alright, this should give me enough room. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab a big old rectangular marquee here, because I also want to move parts of the body down with it. Okay, how are we doing there now? That's a little bit too long. Okay, good. I'm glad I found the point where I think it's too long. So I'm gonna just kind of push her feet up until I think it looks right. And I also kind of need to move up her knees. Knees too low still. Alright, let's fill in that part, because otherwise it'll bother me, and then I just kind of want to understand the shape of the leg better here. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it to look right until I do that. Legs. Why did I pick the VTuber with the most exaggerated legs again? Oh, it's fine. Okay, I didn't pick the one with the most exaggerated arms, and arms are still my art nemesis. So, it'll be fine. I can handle legs. I feel like I'm starting to make them too thick, though, because they're so skinny. It's like they're huge, but they're so skinny. It's okay, I can adjust the skirt a little bit later as well. Let me just feel out where the thighs are. Maybe. Good lord. It's alright, I think I'm figuring it out. I think. I hope. Fortunately, this is actually really close to the angle I'm trying to draw here. Just the lower leg is a little bit straighter. So I can actually use it as a pretty decent reference there. I don't know, do I need a gap here? Like, normally in this pose, having a thigh gap would be absurd, but they're so freaking skinny. Just to make my life easier, since it's all sock at this point. I guess that's not true. There is a little bit of body showing up there that I am not currently respecting. But I'll worry about that in a sec. But yeah, I do think that's actually better. Feels weird. I do like this leg pose, though. I think it's working pretty well, so I would like to actually get it right. Man, me wanting to actually just render out the head before I had all of my proportions right. Sounds like me, definitely. But I am glad that I showed proper restraint this time, because I did end up having to change some things. And not being able to change the head at all would have been a little bit unfortunate. I mean, I haven't changed the head, so maybe it's fine. But we shall see. But still, it's probably a good thing that I didn't. Okay, time to give her the world's skinniest ankles, the things that looks like it will just snap from trying to hold her own body weight, but it's okay. Ah, the joy of anime. Okay, I think it's getting there. Maybe a little bit more on the knee. That calf muscle is, like, so defined. More things that you never notice until you actually go to draw something. Okay. So this other part of her leg is gonna have to show a little bit here. But that's fine. I'll go ahead and just draw through to make my life a little bit easier. Actually, you know what? I want to do this on a separate layer, just so I don't have to redraw that calf again. But I do want to know where this leg is going. Slightly nonsense pose, but that's fine. It could be a lot worse. Let's see, and this one's gonna actually have its calf on this side. So the other side should be much straighter than what I currently have. Okay, and then I think I will just move the other foot slightly to the left, just so I can show maybe a tiny bit of it. I think that'll make it look less weird. Okay, and then I just don't want them to completely overlap, so I will add just like a little sliver there, maybe. And then I can come in a little bit harder at the ankle here. Okay. I was gonna say yes, but then I realized that I accidentally covered up part of the thigh there. That's fine. That's like the easiest part to draw, so I'm not too concerned. I don't know, maybe I should separate them just a little bit more, have this one go a little bit more that way. Again, just so you can kind of tell that there's two legs doing leg things there. So otherwise, they legitimately might just kind of get absorbed into each other and be a little bit unclear in a bad way. Okay, let's turn the body back on and see what we got here. I do need to clear it out in all these places, but it's fine. I kind of expected to erase everything on the legs anyway, since she's wearing socks. Long socks. Are they still too short, man? God, I gotta look away for a second. I'm not used to I'm not used to modifying my proportions like this. So I'm gonna look away for a bit, and I'm gonna come back to it and see if I'm happy with this leg length. I kind of feel like the upper part of her legs need to be a bit longer. The lower part I think is good, though. So, yes, I'm gonna look away for a bit and see how I feel about it. So what should I work on while I do that? My instinct says I should render the face. Just because the next thing that I'd work on would be the cape, and that is way too far in leg territory. And besides that, it would also be the skirt, which again, too close to the legs. So sure, let's go render some hair. Sounds good to me. I still think the hair looks good, so I think I can just clean up what I have, and all will be well. Alright, let me look at how I handled the last drawing like this that I did. I just want to take a look. Man, it's just all so delicate. I'm amazed that I can draw lines that thin. Okay. Yeah, I know what to do. So, first things first, I need to smooth everything out. Always gotta start with smoothing the outer edge, and for this, I want it to be, like, really, really, really smooth. Okay. Not symmetrical there. All I wanted to verify. And I want to make sure that there's no holes or anything, and all will be well. And as always, I'm not really worried about covering up anything else that I drew before. I am just focused on that outer edge. I can very easily redraw everything when the time comes, but having to switch between colors all the time is really obnoxious when I'm just trying to smooth out the edge. So, I only do it sometimes. Like here, I think I will. Why not? Okay. Fortunately, most of this is completely symmetrical, so I only have to draw like half the hair. Maybe more like 2/3. And she also has less hair than a lot of the other drawings I've been doing lately. So this actually feels less daunting than usual. Come to think of it, when's the last time I drew someone with short hair? Outside of just, like, Inktober doodles. Oh no, I guess Yuko has short hair. Koromaru had short hair too, so no, I've been doing it a lot. It's just funny to think about, I guess. But I do draw a lot of girls with long hair. Not surprising. I like long hair. I think it's pretty. Alright, let's get this little curl, like, perfect. Those little curls are just so important. They are like everything. So I want to make sure that it is just a great, cute little curl. Especially since that this is going to be on both sides, so I am drawing 2 little curls. Oh, this side is... Okay, so little bit of the asymmetry here got me. That's fine. I'll just go smooth that out. I'm gonna trust what I did before and just do it like this. And then I'll put the colors and stuff back in a little bit later, but I think that this is fine for this. So I'll go get the giant antennas here now. They really are quite large, aren't they? Alright. But fortunately, I don't have to worry about this bottom part, really. I will probably have to hide this layer a little bit while I draw the headband. And then at some point, I'm going to have to come back and erase the parts that overlap the headband, but that won't be too bad. I'll probably just go render out the headband after I do this, too. Well, not render, but, smooth. Get it ready for rendering. But we'll just do all the smoothing in the hair area before I go back and double check the legs. I do want to get those right before I start rendering anything, though, just because it affects the size of the canvas. And if I need to push some things around again, then I better be ready for that. Fortunately, the setup I have for this makes it so as long as it's just on the lower part, it's pretty easy to make those adjustments. Okay, there we go. I think I'm happy with that. Now just time to get everything really, really straight. It is really, really straight, right? Extremely. Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure I was remembering correctly. Because sometimes these things can trick me. Phew, okay. Man. So many straight lines. Straight lines are hard. There's something on my tablet there. Okay. I just ran over something and I'm like, man, was there something crusted on my tablet there? I'm not sure how that happens. I haven't eaten at my computer in months. But no, it doesn't seem so. I'm not sure what it got caught on. Okay. I just want to get this angle just right, and I still feel like it's poofing out a little bit there. My desire to just curve everything when it comes to hair is too strong. And getting the straight line is not working out. Because I think it's still curved. Yeah, it's still curved a little bit right there, but the top part is now straight. So Progress. Progress. I feel like these types are a little bit easier if I tried to draw the whole thing at once, but it didn't work out. So here we are, just zoomed in, super close, trying to just get that last little bit to cooperate with me. It's okay, I'll wrangle it into submission eventually. Always do. I think that's probably close enough. Yeah, I think so. Alright, let's go smooth out the little curve then. Get that little curl. Curl in just right. Okay. This part I actually think looks pretty alright. Just needs a little bit of touching up. And there we go. So I can go right in to the last little curve right here. Make it a nice, cute little curl. And I think I honestly really like to just cover up part of her face and ear there, even though it's not entirely accurate. Just, I don't know, I kind of don't like the way that part of her head looks, so I just want to cover it up. That's the joy of being the artist. Sometimes you really can just sweep it under the rug. Honestly, as long as it's not getting in the way of the rest of the image, I do think it is okay to cover up some things. For like each individual piece. At some point, you want to be able to know how to draw those things, because otherwise you'll be limiting yourself. And you'll be limiting the kind of poses you can do and stuff like that, especially if you're just trying to cover up something like hands. Hands are just so important to expressions, actually. Expressiveness within a person. So hands is actually probably the #1 thing if you want to improve your art, to learn how to draw. Because once you can feel comfortable drawing expressive hands, your art will get better, like, immediately. Okay. And then, just because I have some stuff overlapping there, I want to make sure that this part also looks correct. This will help me when it comes to add the lines surrounding everything later, where I just get all of this and the angle here perfectly straight. And then when it comes time to add the lines, I can select this and plop in my lines, and I don't have to worry about accidentally putting it over here. So, there we go. Yes, I think that is correct. It might actually make more sense to put a light part here and then a dark part here. I'll consider it. Nothing is really set in stone, even at this point, so... There we go. I do think that that is the hair smoothed. Except for the back, which I will be doing much later. I think before I go down and check on the legs again, I would like to get this headband. Let's go hide the antennas for a second. She looks so bald without them. It is amazing how different they look with even just a slightly different hairstyle. This is why all of her outfits and stuff have like the giant hair antenna. Because she just doesn't look like herself without them. Alright. I think that's the first link. I'm not gonna worry about shading this just yet. Just kind of want to get the general gist in here. And a nice smooth outer part. Okay, I do have them long enough, so all is well. Just wanted to double check that. Okay, and I want to make sure that these are very rigid looking. They are supposed to be chain links after all. So I don't want them to look flexible. Not at all. Want to make sure that they look very, very stiff. In fact, I might even have them a little bit too round. I think I do, actually. Yeah, there we go. Some chain links are generally round, like, all the way. Some have a little flat part in the middle, but Kronies appear to have quite a long flat part, actually. So I should draw them accordingly. Okay, there we go. That looks better. And then these ones are going to be twisted a little bit, so their inner part will be a little bit smaller. The little gap in the middle there. Okay, so yeah, I think that works. Let me make sure everything is okay here. And now I can just select that and erase the parts of the hair that should not be covering it. Easy. And similarly, I want to make sure that the front part of the hair is covering all the parts that it should. I will just go ahead and plop all that like this. And it looks like I missed a few spots when rendering this. So, here we go. Okay, there we go. So that should be ready for shading now, but I think I have looked away from the legs long enough that I can see if they're long enough. I think I stand by my initial assessment that the lower part of her leg is fine, the upper part needs to be a little bit longer. So I think the way I'm going to do that, I'm just going to go ahead and select both feet once I find them. And then everything else, and I will just... Let's see, I think my selection needs to be like here. And just push things down just a little here. Is that enough? A little bit more. A little bit more. Look, I get nervous. Legs are supposed to be like half the size of the body, but I feel like hers, if you go from this point, they're a little bit more than that. And my torso's a little bit longer than her official art's, so I gotta compensate. Okay, and I'm just double checking the proportions everywhere else. So I think her head is fine. The hair antennae should be a little bit bigger, but I think that this is correct just because I have her head tilted back a little. I might need to make them a little bit bigger. I'm debating. I want to see what it looks like. It's like I'll need to fill some stuff in, but that's fine. I can get the kind of gist. I actually do think it looks a little bit more accurate, just a little bit bigger. So, okay. I will go adjust that then, which means that this needs to be steeper. And let's see. Even on her design, they meet, but I do see that there's like... that they meet like on the back of her head? No, that doesn't seem right. But there's like this little spot of the top of her head that shows. But on mine, I do think that they should be meeting a little bit closer to the headband just because of head angle. There we go. So like right at it. I think that's good. So then I will just pull everything else out. It's fine that it's messy because it's all gonna get covered up. But I do want to fill in all the gaps. I do not want there to be any gaps. And then I'm thinking the inner part of the antennae, are they going to be showing a little as prominently as I have them? So these guys. Or do I draw a little bit of like the top of her head there? No, I think what I have is correct. So this part should go all the way down. This section is now too large, so I'm going to have to adjust that, but I'm going to do that a little bit later. Okay. So I think in theory the legs should be good now. Let me go ahead and connect them again. So, you know, in theory, we'll see how I feel about it after I draw it. I swear, one part of her leg is like the same size of her torso here. But to be fair, on the other, on her official, it's like 2 torsos. Little bit longer. But this time, unlike the whole thing. I'm gonna flip it and check things again. No, a little bit longer. I just keep looking back and forth. Reference here, thing here. Are they long enough? Yes, no. So far the answer has been no, but I think I'm getting there. I think I gave myself enough space, so I think it'll be okay. Instinct says knee should be slightly higher. Just because the thigh is coming very slightly forward. But otherwise, I think I'm satisfied. So, where I want to crop it is going to be like... Because this is a little bit too long. Okay, and then I want to get the windows relative to where the humans are. That'll be like... right here, I think. Okay. This relative to the cape I think is still in a good spot, so let's lift up the snake a little till it lines back up. Alright, and now I can move the border back up. Art is hard, man. Okay. So this will kind of line up with the bottom of the windows there. So once I start seeing the windows bleed through, it tells me that I know I'm at the right spot. Okay. Why are you not deselecting? How awkward. Okay, well, whatever. I'll just deselect it here. There we go. Okay, now I get to have the fun of cropping it. I don't think I'm going to fix this border until next time. I want to double check and make sure that I still like the legs. That's kind of important, but I will go ahead and crop it for now. Oops. What are you doing there? Just wanted to crop you. I do think I gotta sit on this for a day before I do too many things. Actually, you know what? I don't even think I should crop it. That's too scary. I'll handle the cropping next time. If I still am satisfied with things here. But yes, I think I have them a good length now. You know, I'm glad I didn't crop it because I'm looking at this and I'm like, I think I put the windows a little bit too low. Or too high, rather. I realized that they're melding with her feet, so I want them to be a little bit lower here. Okay. And I'll just worry about the border next time. I'm just not gonna worry about it. But so far still looks so good. I'm still not sure if I like this yellow, for example. Like, it looks okay down here, but I'm still not sure how I feel about it. I've definitely got some things I can poke around with if I want to do a little bit more stuff with the composition. I don't really want to get the rest of the details on the socks until I know that I like the length of her legs, because otherwise I might end up changing things a lot. It looks like her cape is probably not long enough anymore, since I changed the size of her legs, and it does go a little bit below the knee. Okay, so that tells me that, man, I'm probably gonna have to redraw parts of these windows. That's gonna be terrible. Just because I've been transformed so many times. Probably do about there. I think that's gonna be good. Okay. The things I know I have to fix aside, I think it's pretty okay. You know what? Maybe I should find a yellow that I like a little bit more. If I recall, I pulled this yellow from here. It is a little bit different. It looks like I lightened it up just a little. Hiccups. Oh no. Okay. No. We're good. Okay. I don't really mind it on these. I think that color looks pretty good there. Yeah, so I do have it a little bit lighter there, but I don't think I really like it behind her. It's just tricky because she has so much white around the edge of her design with the little veil thing going on there, her shirt, and I mean, to be fair, I do have it, her shoulders more in going into the cape instead of the white part, so I could conceivably make it a little bit lighter, but I don't want it to be too light because I want the weird headdress that I'm kind of using as a halo here to be very, very noticeable. And then, of course, there's a little bit of white on her sleeves as well. So I don't know what I want there. I don't know. What about this one? See, now I feel like it's getting a little bit too light. I briefly considered, would it be better silver, but that would blend into this, and I don't think I like that. What about you? Are you better silver? I don't think so. It's okay. This seems like a perfect time to just get things where I want them to be. So let us play with hue saturation and just see what works. I don't want it to be too bright either. Oh yeah, let's just go full neon here. But I feel like if I get too gray, it takes a lot out of it. But I know that the right color is hiding in there somewhere. I just gotta find it. I don't know, is the color I have okay? Am I just being silly and not properly appreciating the color that I picked? Actually, I think that I'm getting somewhere here. I don't know. It's okay, I'll do a little bit of science here. Oops. This layer was not locked. Where's the sun itself? Because, like, I see sun rays, but where is the sun? I don't remember where I put it. Oh yeah, it was up here. That's right, I put these layers together. No, I think I like the other color better. Okay, so I think I did okay. All right. You know, I'll take it. If I like it. Do I want to do some stuff with sleeves today? I probably should. Because otherwise I'm just going to immediately go into rendering hair, and probably shouldn't do that when I'm not sure if I have the legs proportionate. So, yeah, sure, let's go ahead and kind of start getting some of the stuff going on the sleeves, too. So I think I'm actually going to separate these sleeves into a few different layers. I think I at least want the fluff on a different layer. And let's see, how do I feel about the arms? Even just arms without sleeves. The fact that her hands are kind of blending into the clock is a little bit unfortunate. I think it'll be okay, though, because I'm gonna put white lines around things. Okay, let's go ahead and I'll go ahead and draw some hands, I guess. Let me at least make sure that her arms are proportionate here. So that means I kind of want to get them relatively in there. And like I said, arms are kind of my art nemesis. I find them to be the hardest thing to draw. So I'm gonna take a little bit of extra time just to make sure that the elbow is meeting at the right spot and that they are a good length before I draw hands and stuff. Just because oftentimes I do not get this right the first time. And then I'll worry about the torso proportions a little bit. I don't think they're quite right yet. Just everything about Kronii's proportions are so ridiculously exaggerated. It's tripping me up. It is. Hey, look. I do keep saying that I keep wondering how the artist pulled it off. So, I mean, it's working. It's just when I'm trying to adapt it to how I draw things, I'm just like, wait, I didn't do it right. I must double check all the things. It's not a criticism. It's just something that keeps surprising me. How noodly are her arms anyway? Looks like we've got a little bit of clamp proportions here, but otherwise they don't seem like especially skinny. It's hard to tell with the sleeves. I'm just going to assume that the arms are as skinny as the legs. And so I do not think I have them quite... Do I? Where the heck is the elbow here? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go look up at the internet again. No, I think I can probably just draw whatever I want. And it's fine. The big thing that I'm trying to figure out, just proportion-wise, this doesn't go down to her elbow. Like, the elbow is probably a little bit lower. So I think that this, like, right where the cuff starts is at that thin part of the shoulder right below the joint. There's like a thin part where it gets a little bit thinner and then it expands outward into the bicep. So I think that this is that thin part, so the bicep is going to be like right through here. So yeah, I don't think this quite goes to the elbow. It ends just right above it. And then this isn't quite the wrist. Like that would be one heck of a wrist if that was like that, which, I mean, I could believe it, but I don't think that's quite right. So I think it ends just above it. And then this part would completely cover the wrist. Mid-thigh, looks like. Yeah, they're not quite long enough. Okay. So which part is too short? I think it's the upper part that's too short. How do I do this? Okay, so first, I don't want to do it like... No, I can do it like that. That's fine. I was gonna say, I don't want to do it like that because then I wouldn't have perfect symmetry, but you know what? It's fine. It actually is, because this part is going to be covered up. It's fine. I'll go ahead and just keep that. It'll be covered up by sleeve, so I don't need it to be perfectly symmetrical there. Okay. So as long... Wait, why is symmetry drawing it in the weird spot? Life is hard. Okay. Yeah, I think that looks a little better. And then I think I just want to move the hands a little bit out. And that should be a little bit better there, and then I can just adjust the sleeves accordingly. This is why I wanted to take a moment to make sure that I had the arms right first. Arms being my nemesis aside. Those sleeves are a little scary. I think they look good. It's just they've got a lot of stuff going on. And I want to make sure that I draw it right. And when I've got noodle limbs going here, definitely want to make sure that I have them all in the right place before I start drawing even slightly detailed stuff. Okay, so I want to get them appropriately skinny here. I kind of match the energy of the legs. Okay, I suppose she doesn't need muscles to go punch whatever she needs to punch. That is the power of anime. You are as strong as your creator demands you to be. I don't know how I should handle that arm. What does this short thing do? Okay, maybe before I go further into arms, I should fix torso area. So let's see, I think that this actually goes a little bit wider. Yes, of course. So I'll have that cover the arm just a little bit there. Okay, and back to body layer. Let's see, I was using the neck color there. Make sure that the side is in there properly. Good lord. Okay. But I think that's right. Let me check. I gotta check. I do think that that is correct though, and I'll go ahead and put the shirt part on before I go in and do the inner part here by the ribbon, because I don't think that's quite right either. Okay, and now I can kinda adjust here. Get things, hopefully correct. Let's see. How'd I do? I think that it's actually straighter. I kind of need that. Okay. There we go. I think it's actually a little straighter up here. I'm actually a little surprised, but I do think that that is correct. And then I want to get that part there looking right. I haven't plopped the details on there yet. I think I'll do that a bit later. I think it's like that. Seems accurate. Okay. And then I adjust the collar accordingly, because it shouldn't be showing out through here. Okay. Proportions. More accurate or less accurate? Let's take a look. I'd say it's closer. Let's see, I think I need a little bit more black part. Or it kind of comes up here a little bit. So I wanted to figure this out because I didn't like how her arms were connecting to the torso. And I was like, huh, yeah, I don't think I have a lot of that correct. So I should fix that. But now I do think it looks a little bit better. And I did think that she was a little bit skinny there. It's like, man, she's so skinny everywhere else, and then it's like they took all the mass from her muscles and just shoved it into her chest. Well, that's fine. Is it good? Are we good? I think it's quite close. Let's see. Need a little bit more flat right there. I'm actually kind of surprised by the shape of the vest here. Because, I mean, have you ever heard the saying that black is slimming? A lot of the reason for that is the way it contrasts with skin. So there's like certain dresses where you probably have a black part in the middle and then a lighter or transparent part around the side, and that does indeed make someone look very skinnier, or a lot skinnier. And this is like the exact reverse. But it's just kind of funny to me, because having the black part on the outside here actually does make her breasts look smaller. Which is why I'm so surprised. Okay. I just need to get the shape right. They were a little flat around the edge. Just because I was following the shape of the shirt vest thing here, as opposed to the shape of how it looks on the outside, so now I need to get that right. Okay, I think that this is correct here. I want to get this part straighter. Okay, so yes. You know what? I think it's close enough. I think the most that I need to do here is I need to adjust some shading on the skin part. Just there. And then I will probably just add gradation later instead. Okay, so I think I'm satisfied. And now her arms are connecting into the rest of her body better, so I think they're long enough. I'm gonna go hide the clock again. Never mind her arm just turning into glove. The gloves are hidden by the sleeve, so I don't need to care about how they exactly turn like that, so this is fine. Okay, yeah, I think they're long enough. Alright. Let's get a basic hand pose in here. Let's see, what do I want her to doing with her hands? I'm posing in real life here, so give me a moment to just kind of feel it. Yeah, it's gotta be curved fingers. Are her fingers really long too? Not really. Looks like the palm is maybe a little long, but the fingers actually look pretty normal. Okay. I do feel the need to check these things because, you know, memes about her legs aside. I do think that, to an extent, the proportions of the character do kind of affect how you see them. It's kind of like why I insist on spending a lot of time just copying the exact shape of the bangs. Because I do think that leaves a very different impression. It completely changes it. I used to not care as much, and my ability to get the likeness of a character has increased dramatically since I started paying more attention, and this thumb is bent too hard. I still just remember my baby self. I drew this one picture of Tulula from Arknights, and at the time, I just did not like drawing antenna hair. I didn't think it looked very good. So I just didn't do it, and it just doesn't really look like her. So now I honor the antenna hair, even though I think it's a little bit silly. Okay, so the pointer finger will go out, and the rest kind of curve. And I actually don't mind if the hand is slightly longer than, like, the border here. I don't think it overlaps, but if it did, I think I'd actually be okay with that. I guess I should also just kind of put in the shadows where the fingers are overlapping here. I don't know. I got the silhouette in my head. I'm gonna roll with it. I drew it backwards. No, I didn't. It's fine. I mean, to be fair, yes, I did technically draw it backwards because I saw the index finger as in front, but you know what? It's okay. I can fix it. All I gotta do is look. It's no longer in front. It's magic. Okay, and... But this does mean that some of the other fingers have to be in front. I need to, like, figure out how it works. I can't just do the silhouette. Been drawing too many silhouettes for Inktober. They let me be a little bit lazy. But now I actually gotta figure out how these fingers overlap and stuff. Okay, making the pose so I can use my own hand as a reference here. It's a little tricky. I kind of have to put my hand above my head in order to get it the right direction. Because my hand doesn't bend that way. I should probably just draw the pinky first, honestly. Okay. So let's see. Palm end's probably somewhere around here. Man, this figure looks so much better than the other ones. And then the thumb is actually going to be in the back. And I think I have it too far down. I know I said her palm was long, but there are limits. Oh shoot, I can't do that. Because if I do that, it's going to break the other side. No, okay. I know what to do. I'm still going to do that. And then I just know that I turned off symmetry, and because I will forget, I'm just going to duplicate the layer and flip it over when I'm done. Put in a wrist. It's like, it's going to be covered up, so I don't need it to be perfect, but it'll help me draw the hand. Right? Because now I know where this palm is kind of connecting into the rest of her hand, and it's doing something like that. And the thumb is maybe a bit thick. Or maybe more accurately, the hand isn't thick enough. Okay. I'ma just kill this one. It's not working for me. And I'm gonna break out the hot pink. When I have overlapping fingers, I just find it a bit easier. So, pinky joint is like somewhere here, and it is... I think kind of doing something like this. I'm not sure if that's long enough, but... I'll leave it like that for now. I think the index finger is great. I don't really want to touch it, but I'm gonna tilt this guy up just a little bit more. This was going to be the middle finger, but now I guess it's the ring finger. It's fine. It can be the ring finger. So a lot of the time when I draw fingers or hands on an anime characters, I just draw 2 joints instead of 3. I think it's a little bit easier to manage. So I think it's fine. It doesn't, unless I'm doing something very, very specific, it doesn't really affect the pose of the hand that much. So I think I'm satisfied with just my 2 jointed fingers for now. Okay, pinky is a little bit small, but how's the rest looking? Neon aside. Yeah, I think it's getting there. Alright, let's see about cleaning this up. I don't think I'm gonna smooth it out, but I will at least kind of get it going. What do the knuckles do? I can basically ignore them. Cool. Gonna make the index finger a little straighter. Make the pose a little bit more dramatic than how I would do it in real life. But look, I've been exaggerating everything in this picture. I can exaggerate a hand pose too. It'll make it look better. Fingers. I want to put a little bit of a fingertip on this. I can't draw nails. She's wearing gloves. So I can't draw nails to help me out. I mean, I guess I could and then just delete them at the end. But I don't think I will. Little long. Okay, so I think that's fine, and then we have the ring finger here, and I think it looks pretty good already, actually. So I don't think I have a lot to fix here. Let me just make it a little bit more nice. I guess I'm smoothing it out, even though I wasn't really intending to. That's fine, I can do that. I'm gonna have to eventually, so, you know, why not now? Alright. Now let's get a pinky. I'm still just going with a 2-jointed finger. Little bit easier to manage, and I think it still looks just as good. I feel like it is maybe a little bit long, so I'm gonna just pull this part back a little. And I think I will straighten it out just a little bit too. Okay. So I think that's fine. Let's go ahead and give it a proper color now. Okay, I can't see anything. Before we give it a proper color, let's go ahead and put the shadows that I need around so that this way I know where it is. Okay, looks good to me. Alright, and then the cyan one. So that'll be the middle finger. I'm debating if I like that index finger. I mean, it is where my finger went personally. I think I probably do need to bend it slightly. And let's see, I think I'm gonna rotate the entire hand just a little. How is it proportionally? I think I might have made her hands a little small. As is common when I'm just like super zoomed in and figuring out exact shapes like this. Okay, for this one, I think I'm just gonna start coloring the whole thing in black, and then I will add the rest. Okay, I think I'm just gonna lift up the index finger a little bit. Put it a little further back, or I don't know, do I connect it just back here instead? Probably another case of me just drawing the freaking hand backwards again. I do it all the time. Yeah, I think that it makes more sense with it up here. In which case, do I even like it? No, I really don't. So, okay. Let's break out the cyan again, and I will draw it more like the others. Okay, I think that part of my issue is that this isn't quite long enough. And this isn't quite long enough either. Okay. So now I should be able to make a decent looking index finger. In theory. But let me go ahead and just make the other fingers look a little nicer first. Well, that I have all of these just out on separate layers, and they are easy to manage. Make them look a little bit less noodly here. Right now, they are like... I don't know. I'm not taking a good advantage of proper straights. There we go. That is already better. I'll let the pinky go down a little bit more than I ordinarily would. Just add a little bit more differentiation between the fingers. It's fine. Something about the thumb still looks weird, but it's fine. I'll worry about it a little bit. Maybe I can figure it out once I've connected all the fingers. Sometimes it can be hard to figure out problems partway through. And it becomes a little bit easier to spot them once everything is a little bit more refined. Let's see, I think I want to make this a little straighter. Those are some kind of long fingers, aren't they? But I've already established I do think that her fingers were... Well, the fingers were normal sized, but the palm was a bit long. So I don't know, maybe I should fix that. Okay, I'm gonna do index finger, and then I'm gonna worry about some other stuff. Because the index finger is what made me want to make those fingers a little bit longer. Okay, so what do I want you to do, Mr. Finger? Disappear. Sounds good. You're just gonna go hide in the back behind all the rest of them. I don't know, something like that seems like a start. Let's go ahead and color it. I think I'll have an easier time finishing it once it's all the right colors, so... Alright, how are we doing? Okay, I think I have found some of the issues. Now that I have zoomed out a little, this guy needs to be thicker. Overlap the other finger just a little bit more. Which also means that this guy needs to be a little bit bigger. So I'll just keep my life simple and do it like that. Something about the thumb, man. I need it to go... like, out more. So if I have hand... I did establish as her palm as being a bit long, but I think this might be overdoing it. So let's kind of get that a little bit better. And I do think that I'm going to need to increase the size of her hand here. But I just want to get everything proportionate relative to the rest of... basically to itself. Okay. What's my thumb do exactly? Kind of having to pull some shenanigans in order to hold the pose a little bit, but... it's all good. Just because my wrist, it does not bend that way. This is why I draw hands backwards all the time. Because I keep wanting to use my hand as a reference. And when I do that, the hand ends up backwards. Okay, I can't do this on another layer. I have to do it on the same. Just because I can't connect the thumb otherwise. So we got a straight part back there. This part should be relatively straightish. And then it's gonna, like, go out into the fatty part of the hand where the thumb connects, and then the thumb just kind of sticks out a little bit over here. something like that. And I don't know, maybe this connects a little bit more than I'm giving it credit. And then we have fingers coming through. That is a long pinky. Sometimes I am caught off guard, and what gives me trouble in hands and fingers and stuff. Because only sometimes do I have trouble. I want to merge these now. But only sometimes do I have trouble with hands. I really don't like the index finger that straight, so okay, I'm not going to merge them. Okay, I changed my mind. I'm not going to merge them yet. Just because I decided I don't like the index finger that curved. I didn't think it looked very good. In fact, I think I want to straighten out all of the fingers here. Except maybe the pinky. I think the pinky's okay. Okay. So just thinking about muscles on the hand. There's like the meaty part here where that connects to the thumb, and then there's another little one right there. So let's try to get a wrist going again. Connect it into the arm, and maybe that'll help me figure out the last part that's just not quite working for me. This is why I wanted to merge all the layers. Because it's a little bit easier to manage them when they're all together. But as it stands, I kind of have to worry about each part separately. And that's always a little bit unwieldy. I think I have the thumb a little bit too low. I do that a lot. I kind of want to connect it to the wrist for some reason, but no, it's up here. Especially when it's a little bit behind. Man, I still don't think it looks very good. Art is hard. It is. I'm still just going to treat them like they're all one layer for now. Just because trying to manage 5 is annoying, but I don't want to completely merge them yet. I don't think that the hands are ready for that. But I think kind of treating it all as one layer will just give me a little bit easier of a time. Okay, and then this one... Yeah, you're on a separate layer. I can't fake that right now. And then I think that would just come out to about there, so it'll just be hidden. And you would connect kind of right in here. Doing thumb things out there. Okay, I think I'm getting somewhere here. I think I'm getting somewhere. I'm still not sure how I feel about it all, but I'm getting somewhere at least. I think the pinky is too thick. So let's just take him back a little. I mean, now it's too thin, but that's fine. I kind of expected that, because what I wanted to do was make it a little bit more like this, and like that, and there we go. I think I'm getting somewhere. This one a little longer. I'm still not quite sure what to do with the thumb, though, and I also think I need to move the pinky a little further down. I do that a lot too, where I just have the joints like if you look at your hand, your fingers make like a little triangle. But I always like to make like a line going this way instead for some reason, as opposed to the little triangle that actually is there. I do that a lot. I should stop. The thumb is still completely wrong, though. Just, like, completely. And I definitely have this, like, angled forward. I'm not sure if I want to change that. So if I have it angled forward, maybe I can just get away with putting the thumb up here and call it good. Like, obviously, this is not thumb-like at all, but, I do tend to think of the thumb as just like a little triangle. And then I just, you know, like you do in the womb when your fingers are webbed, I just get rid of the extra webbing. Okay, let's add a little bit more depth there, and once again, make things a little thinner. Okay. And then just get the thickness of this finger a little better. And maybe make this one a little bit thinner here. Just again, try to make it a little bit less head-on there. I don't know if it's working. I actually legitimately don't know if it's working. Okay, but let's see what I can do here. I got like 5 minutes left, so hopefully I can get something going here, but man, this hand... It is just not cooperating with me this time. Oh well, hands be hands. It'll be fine. Next time I'll just have to look up a reference or something because, yeah, it's pretty bad. It's like, I do think that the pinky looks okay, so I've at least got, like, part of it going. But, man, I guess this finger doesn't look too bad. But man, indeed. Alright, let's just keep calm and take a look. Try to spend that last few minutes just getting everything right. And I do think I will merge everything now. Just because I'm driving myself crazy dealing with all these layers, and I don't think I'm going to be doing any major shifting at this point. And you know, if I do, I'll just make a new layer. It's all good. Managing a million different layers to try to get this right is just suffering. Just suffering. So let's not. I think this finger feels a little bit thick, so I'm going to change its shape just a little. And here I want to get the joint in there a little better. So I kind of want this to go a little bit more up. And then get the joint in and have that be straighter. That's not a good spot for the joint, though. It needs to be here. Right. And then I can just kind of adjust the tip of this finger accordingly. Let me lock the layer again so that this way I can color it in the bright color. There. And then I can try to get the fingertip looking right again. Okay, and then index finger doing this thing that I had it doing before. I think that's fine. We don't see very much of it. Okay, let's just get this finger a proper thickness now. And then I'm going to try to get it a little bit less sausagey. Because I do feel like it is a little bit sausagey right now. Well, I'm sure sausage is delicious. It's not a good state for fingers to be in. You don't eat your own fingers after all. I want them to be a little bit more delicate here. There we go. That's looking a little better. Okay, and then come out there. Come out there. Thumb doing thumb things, and hopefully this works out for me. Gonna just add the shadow in there, and then I'm gonna make my life easy, and then instead of trying to redraw it, just flatten it. Perfect. Okay, and then I think that there should be a little dent, like, right here. Maybe not that big. Just gotta keep breaking it down a little bit. What the heck do I do with that part of the hand? Hands, how do they work? Okay. No. I am just gonna steady my hand for a second. Okay. Just doing a little bit of staring here. I'm trying to get it at about the angle that I think I had the fingers at. Relatively speaking. So we have a slight sign of the knuckle on the pinky here. And then it kind of folds into the hand like this. Man, keeping this pose is tiring. But I don't know. I think it's helping. Phew. Okay, I had to put my hand down. Because I needed to be able to hit control. And naturally this isn't perfect because this is not exactly what it's all doing. But I'm hoping that it'll be close enough that I can get close and maybe figure out the last little bit here. Man, I still think it looks really bad. I'm probably just gonna have to figure this out next time, unfortunately. Okay, well, let me get it sized. Just compared to her head here. Probably somewhere around there. Stick it on the tiny little wrist that I made. Yeah, there's just something not quite right about the palm and where it's all connecting there. But I think I will have to figure that out next time, unfortunately. I think I'm about out of time here. I don't know. When I looked at my hand, it was doing something a little bit more like a straight line. But I can't get that to look good. To be fair, I can't get anything to look good right now. Okay, yeah, it's not cooperating with me. I think I'm just gonna have to sleep on it and hope it all works out. So let me go turn on my layers for now. We will just leave her with one hand. It's fine. And next time I'll see if I think the legs are okay, and I will finish that hand. So, I will try to get a good picture of my hand, so I don't have to be digging through Google for a while. But I think I will stop there for today. Major brain farts aside, I thought that things went pretty well. I think her head is looking really good, so I'm really looking forward to rendering that. Let me go turn my highlights back on. They got turned off. I'll leave the lines off for now, But yes, there we go. Okay. So I am, you know, hands aside, I am pretty happy with how it's coming out. I think it's looking pretty good. I still really, really like this. The moon. But anywho, I do think that I will stop there for today, so thank you all for coming. And I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I will see you all tomorrow.